Okay. I want to get a little more focused on what I'm doing here. So I'm going to be doing these little share shops from what I've learned so far about myself and life and understanding life um, through the training that I've had from the non dual direct or no path I've been studying. So I'm trying to assimilate this inside my own being without the help of a teacher. However, so it's going to have a lot of misfortunes. I'll try not to mess things up too much about. I'm going to be talking from where I am in learning. And of course, my teacher's been Rupert Spera. And so my best friend is Rupert. He doesn't know it, but he is. And, he would definitely be the one to straighten out anything that was misunderstood, or I'm gonna try not to speak directly from him like I have been doing so much in a, innocent way. But anyway, I, want to start I'm gonna try to put things in a synchronological order so that I can flow with this and see where I'm going and, um learn how to share with you. I'm actually at the point where I want to share because anytime something has done so much for you, you just want to share. And I've said that I know before, but so I'm going to try this and see how it goes. I'm going to call them share shops. Um, and of course, it's from the student point of view. And I'm going to start from the beginning. And that would be the first question that I would ask myself when I began this training would be, who am I? And I believe that's why I don't want to mess up anything my instructor has or my friend has said. But um, that's why they call this the direct path, is because it goes straight to your being, to your essence, and then we work it out from there. Everything kind of disentangles from that point. So it's the reverse of the way a lot of folks go, where you go through a practice for a long time, but this is going to be going through the understanding after the first uh, knowing or recognition of your true being. So, the first question, who am I, for Share Shop One? So, if I am going to confront this question with myself, then first of all, I would have to say that I want to look inward for that answer, inside of me for that answer. And I want to disassociate with anything that isn't essential to my being. So, all my life, I've been saying, I am this or I am that. And I was just this week thinking a lot about what, how did I go through life? What did I identify with going through life as a child? Or in my teens or in my 20s or in my 30s because I feel like the same being, but that's another story of where I am now and where I was then. But I identified with my circumstances. So it's extremely flexible. But I always knew I am I, but my identification that I associated with was from my outer objective world. So I didn't realize how much so. So I contemplated that a lot this week. There's more to that, but um, so if I disassociate with anything that isn't essential to me, and I am saying, well, I am this, I'm a mom, or I'm not a mom, or um, I'm a nurse, or I'm a teacher, or I'm this, I'm a cook. You associate. I'm 73. I'm um, got blonde hair or whatever color it is, blue eyes. So you attach all of these qualities to who you think you or who you are to yourself. And usually it's associated with what you want and what you don't want. Or I like this and I don't like that, starting at an early age, and you build on that or not. Um, for me, it was depending on who I was with, I would drop the old and be what I needed to be at that time. But I didn't know, or I thought I knew, as much as I experientially learned that love was the most important thing to me. So whatever you had to do for that is what you did. Um, so that went through a lot of experiential experiences. Anyway, enough with that. So, who am I? Let's take away any non essential qualities. So, if I'm not any of those objective things, um, I'm not my thoughts because thoughts are fleeting and I've been me all my life. So, if thoughts come and go in a second, and I'm not my thoughts, because if I was my thoughts, I would disappear a little bit each time I had a thought and I'd be gone by now. So, yes, that's something Rupert says, but it is meaningful and true. So, and my feelings come and go, always depending on the outer circumstances or um, whatever is going on at the time. Feelings come and go. So, that would not be essential to me. So, if I take all of these things away, then the one true thing I can say about myself is that I'm aware, because awareness has been with me forever. I don't see a beginning and I don't see an end. It's not even spatial or dimensional. It just is. But the key here is that I can say I'm aware of being aware. And who is that is aware? I'm aware of being aware. So, being true to myself, I'm an aware being. I am awareness being. And that awareness isn't in time and space, it's non dimensional and without boundaries. So, it definitely does experientially seem that we all appear from that awareness, from that place, from that no thingness that is actually everything. Not every, well, it is everything, everything, all things. But we emerge from that. And so, experientially, and going as deep as I possibly can in that exploration, I am awareness. So, that is a relationship. It's not a relationship because it can't be separated from yourself. And the thing about awareness is that it's aware of itself. And we can't know ourselves because everything has to, in order to know something, you have to stand apart from it. So I can't stand apart from myself. So I can't know myself. Only awareness can know itself. So that's, you can see the relationship here of subject and object. So, in order for awareness to know itself, it's the subject, and we're the object that has emerged from awareness itself. And we can't know ourselves because, as a separate being, we can't know ourselves because we are the object and we can't separate ourselves. We are the object. So we can't separate ourselves to know ourselves. Anyway, no, in order to know something, you have to stand apart from it. So you can say, I know the lamp. I know that light. I know this desk. So awareness, though, is the only one essence, the only one awareness can or does, not can, but awareness knows itself. And that's the only one that knows itself without standing apart from it. So awareness knows itself, and we emerge from that as a manifestation. And that is the recognition of awareness. It's us. So it's a beautiful way to put together how we look at life. Because if we see that we are all emanating from awareness from that one infinite, it's the only words I can find. They're not true, they're not perfect, but words only define objects, and I can only try and do the best I can to describe that. But um, so awareness is the one thread that joins everything and everyone because we come from that. It's not in us. It's not something distant, so we have to reach out for God or infinite being. It's we emanate from that, and it's bigger than our little or ourselves. Well, it's not even bigger than ourselves because we are everything from within us, but we're all everything because the true essence of all things runs through everyone and everything. All said um, with restrictions of being limited with my mind because your mind only sees um, objects, and so words are based on our seeing objects. And so we're not going to find the perfect word, but I'm trying. And I use a lot of Rupert's words because they're all I can think of to put because he's thought about it way longer, his 40 years or whatever, um, to my year, or uh, not even quite. But it so resonates truth to me in an experiential way. So each pause in my thought, each pause, or I mean, the recognition that awareness is there is in you all the time. So I'm not sure if I covered that answer well enough to be understood by anyone. But I think as I go along in these different share shops, I will bounce around from subject to I mean, I will be in a subject, focused on a subject, but it will bring a connection of words together better for me, better for you, um, so that this understanding can go out into the world and bring us home, which is where we're heading. But it would be super nice if we got there, and there's no place really we're going because it's in us all the time. God, infinite being, is inside of us all the same. Every one of us has that access. It's not even an access, you just are. You're made from, you emanate from being, from infinite being. Everything is one. So I'm I'm trying to think what would make that more clear since I'm interviewing uh, air and there's no questions being asked. Um, I know that it depends on every single person and their background and what they're willing and not even willing, but what they're open to receive. Because if you already say, um, "Well, I don't believe that," then that battle with beliefs and experience is probably there, and you might have already built up beliefs to the point where you don't trust your experiences because sometimes our superficial experiences have misguided us. We end up in a pickle because of something we did. Um, but not having traced that deeper, without having gone to that understanding of what came about during that circumstance and going before the circumstance without uh, going deep enough, you're not seeing that it wasn't your experience that isn't to be trusted. It's what belief that you took on early on, early on. Our conditioning is so thick, but the things that you took on unknowingly and are still there unknowingly that you believe are thick. They are so thick. And if you got underneath all of that, then you would truly be able to see that experience that experience had a lot more to it than what you're seeing. And it fell right into place where it needed to be. It was exactly where it needed to be. And there's tugs. There's tugs from infinite being to come home. Um, just like there's pain in the body to remind us that we're not paying attention to the body. We hurt and suffer to remind us that we're out looking for objects to fix things, to make us happy. It doesn't mean that objects are bad because once we know who we are, once we are more intimate with ourselves and we know we're all have this access and we all are brothers and sisters. Um, we are separate in our circumstances and our creativity and our the way we think. That's true. We're not always going to agree or but we're not going to fight. We're not going to hurt each other. And so the suffering would come to an end. We suffer because we create me against you, you against me. And it's not that way. But that suffering is a clue. It's a nudge that we need to go deeper. We need to know ourselves. Um, all the knowledge in the world in the head is going to make a lot of neat things happen. And that's our creativity. And those things can go on and on and on forever. But going inside and knowing who you are is going to end the suffering. Otherwise, there's still going to be nations fighting, people hating. All of those things are being propagated by us not knowing who we are. So you can have all the knowledge in the whole wide world and still be wanting to bomb each other or kill each other or whatever, or hurt each other or just suffer yourself by yourself. It's it's so easy to see and yet so hard to see. It's so easy to access and so hard to see because of where we've been going since a time of, people were really punished and killed and all of these things for the things I'm saying right now, hung and just plain slaughtered. And so we couldn't, my friend that I visited with today reminded me of that we couldn't go inward. We were, and I'm sure, even before that, there's just blocks and things and conditioning where we started seeing things and more things and outwardly. And yes, I think that punishment of the fear of it's kind of like the fear of seeing what wasn't seen by the eyes. It was like fear of the unknown, like a witch hunt. It's like thinking of it as some evil spirit or something like that. But it kept us from finding that part of us that we've buried so deeply. So, who am I? What do you think? Who are you? Well, think about it. Good night.